Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going into the brakes on the Honda Magna. So I'm going to flip this around and show you what we're dealing with. So this is going to look a little bit similar. You're going to recognize what we're doing from when we worked on the clutch, because basically it's the same setup. So you have a hydraulic clutch on the left hand side on that handlebar, and on the right side you have your master cylinder for your front brakes. So basically you have your cap. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? So now I have brake fluid on me, and I dropped a screw, which I'll find in a minute. Anyway, so you have your lid, your diaphragm, and your screws on top. So do not lose them. Do not get this dirty, because then you're going to have to clean it up. And where am I going to set this? I don't know. I guess I should have planned ahead. This is what you do. You plan ahead for this kind of stuff. So what we want to do is get rid of this fluid, take it out, clean this all up, and then put fresh new brake fluid in the master cylinder. Then we're going to pump this up and open our bleeder down below. Now, I'm going to show you something in a second about this, but we're going to put new fluid in here and then pump all the leftover old fluid down through the line and out the bottom. And we'll know when it's all out when fresh fluid is coming from here and coming out the bottom. Then, this is what I'm going to show you. We got to do the same thing on the other side, because we have dual brakes on the front wheel. So, same exact setup, same exact thing we have to do. But once we have fresh fluid, make sure you keep this topped off. Once we have fresh fluid going down through there, we will bleed them as we normally do. First at the banjo bolt, and then at each of the bottom bleeders. So, easy enough. Gonna get rid of this old gross fluid, which probably has, it's very hydroscopic fluid, so it attracts water, and then it just doesn't function as it should, and could fail at you. It could fail on you. So anyway, I'm gonna go get the syringe, suck this junk out, clean this reservoir up, and then put fresh fluid in. Alright, so you're gonna need a bottle to collect your old brake fluid. Syringe, I'm using what, the 3 ml? Yeah, I don't expect to need, I mean, I can do a couple of pulls from this, but have your bottle handy. Where do I put that? Not in your way. Alright, so we're just gonna go in here, suck up our fluid. It doesn't look as bad when you actually get it separated from it, but still, we're gonna replace it. Put all new fresh fluid in. This is actually the same fluid that I use on the clutch. So it's DOT3 on this old bike. You might need, what is it, 4, 5? 4 would work. 5 might be a little extreme, but I'm sure it would say on the cap. I need to look at the cap, but usually for an 82, 3 would be recommended. But like I said, 4 is even better. I think I bought 3 at the time because that's what they had on the shelf at Walmart. Sorry. It's cheap. What are you going to do? So, just want to clean this all out. Suck as much up as I can. This is my 3rd. Unless you're counting, maybe it's 4. I'm going to suck all this out. Oh no! I dropped it in there. Well, okay. I'll fish this out, finish pulling this out, and then I'm just going to take a rag or a Q-tip or something. I don't recommend it because of fibers, but that seems to work for me. Get some brake clean. Just clean around the outside here, and make sure you cover any painted surfaces or anything you don't want to get brake cleaner on, because that'll eat paint. And I'll get back with you, show you what we got. Alright, got her all drained out. Now, you're wondering, am I letting air into the system? Well, interestingly enough, there's a little bit of fluid still sitting over the hole there. I might be letting a little bit of air in, but hopefully it's just here on the top. When I put new fluid in, that bubble will rise up, it'll be fine. And then once we go through all the whole system, you know, hopefully we'll work that out. But I do want to try to get this cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to go grab some brake cleaner, spray it, grab a shop towel, soak up the little bits in the corner, and see if we can't make this thing pretty again. Let me show you what we got here. All this crud, it's coming off. I don't know, you probably shouldn't do this with your fingernail, but that's what I'm doing. But it was all over this side and I got a lot of that off. Just scraping off with my fingernail because I don't know what else would work. But note to self, brake cleaner stinks. Use in a well ventilated area. Whew. So I'm going to scrape this off, make sure, keep it out of that hole. We don't want dirt going down through there. But clean this off, clean off your cap. I didn't even look at that yet, but I'm sure that needs a little bit of cleaning. But you can see, she's cleaning up real nice. Need to get down in that little corner yet. But she'll be good to go in a minute. Now, you know what I always tell you, don't do as I do. I did not cover that hole. Maybe I should put some tape over or something. But I actually got a little tiny screwdriver and lightly scratched the surface and got all that crap. That's condensation mixed with old brake fluid. That's going to happen over time. Now I think I'm going to grab my air compressor and just blow this stuff out. Send it out into the air. Because I don't know if I want to take a vacuum in there. Might not do that great. But I want to get all this out. So everything cleaned up really, really nice. And I'm happy with it. We'll see how this goes. Well, I skipped the air compressor idea and I just held my shot vac just over the top here. And all that stuff was light enough that it sucked out. And then I just held it here and did a little bit of scraping like you would at the dentist. And I actually pulled out the rest of what probably should have come out. I think I'm missing some right here. So basically, she's perfectly clean. If there's anything else, I'm going to give it a good exam yet. And then we're ready to put new fluid in here and work on pushing the old out the bottom. Okay. So now, she was all cleaned out. I added some fresh fluid to it. I will show you the diaphragm. The diaphragm. Clean that up a little bit. They say you should be replacing these. I'm not sure it's not a bad idea to replace them from time to time, but I don't see a point. I'm just going to set that on there because we're going to be pumping this up. And then, where did my lid go? Oh, right here. Make sure you get your vent slots cleaned out in case they're clogged. Your master cylinder needs to breathe. And I also said I would show you on the top. It usually says .3 brake fluid. Like I said, 4 will work, so you would be good with either of those, but make sure it's at least .3. Alright guys, so this bleeder nipple seems to be an 8mm wrench. Now mine was painted over and it looks like somebody used like a vice grip on it or something. So go out and invest in some cheap wrenches if you don't want to spend the money. Get the proper sizes to fit. But I can make this work. Looks like she fits on good, but after painting over it and ripping it up with the improper sized wrench or something, it's a little bit difficult. We're going to stick this on here and then I'm going to put my hose on the end so that we can pop this open and bleed out some fluid. So this would be a much easier job if you had 2 people, because how am I going to be up there at the handle pushing the fluid down through when this is opened up? I don't know. I haven't exactly decided that or figured that out. But I know I can't be filming this at the same time. So what needs to happen is that lever needs to be held tight and this needs to be opened, and we need to push the fluid out and then shut this and then pump up the lever again, push fluid out, shut it, Pump up the lever again, push fluid out, shut it, just like you're bleeding the air, but you're gonna have constant pressure because you're not pushing air out, you are just pushing fluid out. Does that make sense? You're replacing the good fluid, the old fluid, with good fluid. Hey, this worked out okay. I was able to reach around the tire and get to this, but I have to show you, I had to use the vice grip because it's just too rounded to get it right. But my first squeeze, what came out? Ugh! This junk came out. It's either rust or dirt, I don't know, but it's disgusting. So that was my first squeeze. I opened this up, held down the lever, pushed it to the bar, closed this, and pumped it back up. That's where I'm at right now. So now I'm gonna do the same thing, open this up, push it to the bar, do all this until there's no dirt and there's clean fluid coming out. I probably did this 3 or 4 or 5 times, but by the 3rd or 4th time, I definitely was not seeing a color difference in the fluid. And I wasn't on this side to necessarily catch the color change. I did show you that dirt that came out, but that's definitely browner looking, dirtier looking than what's in the tube right now. So I trust that this side's done. You always want to go furthest point on the vehicle. So like usually with a car, you start with like the right rear, from like the passenger rear. So you want to start with the furthest point from the brake master cylinder. So I figured this was further away than the opposite side. So I'm good here. I don't need the vice grip for the other side, hopefully, but I'm gonna switch to the other side. Guys, to be honest, I still can't figure out, like I usually use 5/16 inch wrench on these nipples, but with mine being stripped and painted, that seems to work. But also the what was it, the 7 I was using? The 8. The 8 seems a little loose. 5/16 on this one does seem to be a little tighter. The 5/16 is usually what I use on these, so I'm going to use that on this side. And then do yourself a favor and make sure you keep this topped off. This is about twice the size, probably because you're feeding 2 brake cylinders down here. Well, 4. So you're much bigger system, but make sure you don't run this dry. Well, I spoke too soon about this bleeder nut because it was rounded off too. But I messed with it, I heated it up, I sprayed penetrating fluid, and finally the vice grips, just by adjusting to more of a middle. I was using the end, which actually worked on the other side, but I moved to the middle and I was able to break it free. So whether or not the heating and the penetrating oil worked, that stuff, maybe they helped, maybe they didn't. But anyway, I got it free with the vice grips, and I was able to have one solid spot yet, flat sides on both sides, but I was able to fit, I think this is the 5/16 inch wrench on it. So we're going to use that because now it's free and I can easily move it around. We're going to push out this old fluid. All right, pump it, it's already solid. Ready? Pump and hold it in, crack it. There, done pumping. There, we got some dirt out of there. Pump it again. Open it up. Okay. Shut her back down. Open. Push it through. Shut her back down. Solid. Open her up, push her through. There's dirt coming out of there. All right. Open. Push it through. Open, push it through, close, pump it back up. Open, push it through, close it up. Open, push it through, close it. That is looking like good fluid. I'm going to check the level up top. Well, I hope you were able to see that all the fluid coming out was clean. There wasn't any dirt left. And I closed this off, pulled the line off, and just gently torqued it a little bit with the vice grip because there's no grip on the actual nipple bleeder screw. So these should be done. Now, I noticed there's a lot of grime and oil around my brake calipers, or around my brake discs. So I think the fork seals are the culprit, leaking down from there. And that's going to be a problem if my brake rotors are getting oily. So we may have to address that. The only thing I'm going to do yet is... Oh, sorry. The only thing I'm going to do yet is bleed the banjo bolt and make sure this is topped off. I did fish out a little bit of dirt from in here. I don't know where it came from, but it collected and I was able to pull it out with a screwdriver. Flat tip screwdriver, just went in there and pulled out little bits of black dirt. Yeah, seems all firm and capable, so I'm happy with that. And like I said, there might be some air in here, but I doubt it because we worked this down through and never let air get in the system. But other than that, that is how you're going to bleed your brakes on your Magna or any dual disc system, really. So hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helped you out, and I hope my bike's ready to go now. Catch you on the next one. Hey, in conclusion here, there was no air in the banjo bolt. Crack that, pump this up, crack that, let it go down, shut the banjo bolt, then you can release this. There was no air there, perfectly bled, and this is the stuff that came out of the system. Do you think that's all that was in there? That's all that came out until I had nice fresh fluid coming out the bottom. How much is that? I don't know. I think there should have been more, but let me know what you think. I should measure it. Maybe I can figure out how much is supposed to be in the system. So anyway, that's the old fluid with dirt in it, and here's the system now. As much as is in there flows down here through those two hoses down into the calipers.